locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Rasslin.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I lift barbell plates. I eat T-bone steaks. I'm sweeter than German chocolate cake. How much more can you take?
Who's that supposed to be? Fred Sanford?
Give me a break, man. That's superstar Billy Graham. Kidding me?
Boy, if you say so.
Listen.
I don't know how to tell you about that one. You need a lot more work.
You know what's great about superstar?
I'm coming for you!
Stop.
That's the big one!
Stop it.
I'm coming!
That's not true. I'm sorry, superstar. Don't listen to this guy. You know what's great about superstar Billy Graham?
Anything that better than you've done?
Well, I'm sure he loves me. He inspired Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really?
Yeah, he's the one who made Arnold Schwarzenegger want to get into bodybuilding.
It's funny that Arnold was sort of, obviously he was into the bodybuilding scene.
Sure.
But I didn't know there was that much crossover between the
100%
pro wrestling at that time,
100%.
Especially when there wasn't that much access, and he was living in Europe and before he came to America.
Well, what's interesting is Arnold inspired a bunch of other pro wrestlers to get muscled up and all that.
Well, Arnold was the man. Arnold was like
came full circle.
Arnold was the man.
He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Why?
Because he's a friend of wrestling. He's the most inspirational guy in wrestling. Really, he inspired more wrestlers.
It just dawned on me why you do this show.
Why?
You want to be a friend of wrestling and get in the Hall of Fame for doing absolutely jack squat to ever actually wrestle.
Vince McMahon, if you want to
get the hell out of
induct
here.
me, I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready to take my place in the Hall.
I'm going to conduct your ass out of here. Let's get this show going. Come on.
Welcome back to Duke Loves Rasslin. I am the Duke, and yes, I do enjoy doing pro wrestling impersonations. I'm going to keep on doing them, no matter what my illustrious co-host, the Boston bad boy Iron Mike Pelosi, says.
I'm just trying to help our audience here, not listen to this nonsense.
Can you imagine if I was in the WWE Hall of Fame? I mean, Vince McMahon and I are friends already.
I can't imagine it because it's insane. It's an insane premise.
My friend Vince McMahon would induct me.
Can you imagine if the universe didn't exist? The human mind can't wrap their head around it.
Who do you think would induct me? Who would do the
Who would induct you?
Yeah, officially.
Nobody. Nobody would put their name on it. Not one person, living or dead, would put their name on inducting you into any Hall of Fame. Never mind wrestling Hall of Fame.
You know what they call people like you? Haters.
Right. They call people like me correct.
Haters back off, okay?
Yeah, well, try
Shout out to Miranda Sings. Haters back off. Great show on Netflix. That's right. The progressive liberal Daniel Richards. He's back.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has a lot to say. So
yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
He's on a meteoric rise.
Yeah, he sure is. So he's
all
taking
thanks
time.
to me.
Well,
and me getting him on the show, and me putting him over.
The big shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Well, he's going to be joining us a little later. And who made it to the top 5 stories in pro wrestling?
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out.
You're going to find out.
No, we're going to find out. Don't worry. You know what? Don't worry about it. We're going to find out.
You got a lot to say this week, don't you?
You know what? I'm going to actually say less, and you're going to learn more. So just
whatever that means.
Sit tight.
We also have more of your listener-submitted voicemails for us to. We actually got a special one for you. You're really going to enjoy that, you know?
I can't wait to go down this road.
Oh, boy.
Wait, no, I can wait. I'd rather be anywhere but here. Let's be honest.
Well, before we get to any of that, Boston bad boy,
got
to get a little serious here.
Okay.
A great friend of the show and the greatest wrestler of all time, one of the most influential people literally in my life. My entire life.
Other than me, of course.
Well, give me a break. But my entire life, I've turned to this guy for inspiration and, literally for a pick-me-up. Anytime I feel down or whatever, turn to this guy for that extra boost. Seriously. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair. He's been having some health complications lately, and I don't want to get too deep into that stuff right now, but I just throwing that out there, though. Nate, he's in the hospital right now, and there's reports that he's in a medical-induced coma and all this stuff. It's just really tough.
Well, I was thinking about that. I saw the posts and everything, and I said the best thing I know that I could say, which was get woo soon.
That's right.
Instead of get well soon.
That was
get
a good one.
Woo soon.
I like that.
You could almost we should do a big card.
Sure.
To him.
Sure. I like
get
that.
Get woo soon, and everyone should get woo.
Yes, everyone.
Which is funny that you mentioned Ric Flair because friend of the show Chelsea, the wrestling femme, is down in Disney.
Oh.
And she's having a good time down there, it seems. And I was thinking, I wonder if she's going to ride Space Mountain. Because if you're down there, right? It's only natural.
Oh, boy.
It's only natural.
That's right. Hey, look at that.
I'm on fire tonight.
Longest line in the park. That's it. Well, listen. Shout out to the wrestling family.
Absolutely.
Chelsea. That's our homegirl right there. But Ric Flair, to Flair and his fiance Wendy, the whole Flair family there. Listen, we're pulling for you. Mm-hmm. Please get well.
Yeah, he's the first man of wrestling, really.
He is.
It's like the Neil Armstrong of wrestling at this point.
And we expect him to kick out at 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Before anyone hits for the 3
right, if
count,
anyone's
going to
do
out.
Yep, it'll be right.
It's Ric Flair. So with that, let's run the ropes. It's time to run the ropes. I set the Boston Bad Boys straight on the top 5 stories in the world of professional wrestling. Let's go.
No. Once again,
yes.
I'm going to set you straight because I'm sick of listening to you babble on about what you think you know about wrestling. So I decided a new segment of the show is where I'm going to bring in people who really know their business. And because I have such extensive a network of people, and everyone loves me, and they don't like you.
Give me a break.
I was able to get the man. The guy who runs the #1 pro wrestling news website in the world. Say hello to my friend, Raj Giri.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Raj Giri. Oh, my goodness. Whoa.
So, you like that?
You outdid yourself this time.
Listen,
huh?
when Big Raj comes on the line, you better watch your back, Jack.
Give me a break. Well, listen, Raj, I just want to make sure we have something clear here before we get started. You may have the #1 wrestling news site in all of the world, but I'm still the Duke. So,
All right, I'll respect that. But yeah, #1 wrestling news site. We've been online since '97, so it's been 20 years this year.
Wow, congratulations, man! That's awesome.
That's impressive. All right, well, hey, I'm going to pepper you with the top 5 stories in the world of pro wrestling. So let's go.
All right, it's been a busy week.
So Raj, let's start off here. We know that Ric Flair has had some pretty significant difficulties this past week, and I know the Boston Bad Boy, because he's a slacker, he really hasn't been paying attention. Can you let the Boston Bad Boy know what's the latest update on Ric Flair's health?
So it looks like, we're kind of at that point where there's not much news, which is probably a good thing. I think there were a lot of people, really fearing for the worst earlier this week when it seemed a lot more dire. But he underwent surgery. He had an intestinal blockage, and so it resulted in a part of his bowel being removed. And from that surgery, there's some other complications. So he's going to be in the hospital for another month. But other than that, no news is good news. So hopefully he'll be okay after that. But I think people were really worried earlier this week, and I think the really scary stage it has gone by.
Wow. I mean, there was so many conflicting reports. We heard about a heart attack. We heard about colon operation, what have you. So are you saying that none of that actually happened there?
Well, the colon operation is, kind of true. Part of his bowel was removed, so that's probably where that came from. But yeah, there has been a lot of different stuff. His fiancée, she put out a tweet saying that there has been multiple organ problems. And so, yeah, he went into surgery apparently for one thing. They found something else, and and it was complicated by other issues. So, and then his kidneys failed during the surgery. So that's it got really scary after that.
Wow. Well, we mentioned it earlier in the show, and just want to say one more time to Ric Flair and the whole Flair family, we wish you the best there. And hey, just make sure you kick out at 2, Nature Boy. Raj, Alberto El Patron, a.k.a. Alberto Del Rio, he was stripped of the Global Force Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, and he was also suspended indefinitely by the company. And this is something that the Boston Bad Boy really has his dander up about because, as we know, even though the incident happened at the Orlando airport and Alberto was investigated and exonerated, basically, because Paige allegedly was the aggressor, what are your thoughts over there, and what are you hearing over at Wrestling Inc. in relation to this whole story here? Because the Boston Bad Boy, he's a little confused.
Well, I am confused because I feel like they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Tell me what's going on, Big Raj.
Well, all right. Well, if you've been following the news over the past, year, there's been, a lot of incidents between them. And, there's a lot of wrestling couples out there, and you don't see as many incidents as you see with them. They break up all the time. They fight in public a lot. And, couples fight, so, you give them the benefit of the doubt. But I think there's been some other incidents, and while GFW was conducting their own internal investigation, they decided, because of some of the other incidents, that it wouldn't be proper to keep Alberto El Patron with the title. And yeah, I don't know where they go from there. I don't know if he just comes back at the next set of tapings. They're taping through November this week, so it's a long time.
I mean, don't you? It seems like a little bit of BS. I mean, I could see an angle where like we're trying to protect the brand or whatever. But like you said, this has gone on for a long, long time. Why now? Why when this incident where the guy's cleared of it and she's found at fault why is this the tipping point? I don't. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I think I think just because of the amount of publicity it did get, and. That's why they conducted their own investigation, and I think they found a couple other, some other incidents, so they decided it was best to part ways for now.
Yeah, I'd like to see what their actual policy on that is, though. Like, what did he violate to, was there anything that he, quote-unquote, violated? Because we know when it comes to WWE and what happened with Paige, she's actually, there are infractions that you can point to as, part of their policy. It seems kind of nebulous with him, and they're just like, yeah, I don't want to...
Right. Well, the lady that kind of caught this whole altercation at the airport on tape, she had contacted us, and she had like tape of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And I think GFW probably got access to that tape, and from all accounts, it wasn't pretty. So from what I heard was on that tape. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It seems from everything that's been out publicly, it seems odd for him to get suspended now, but yeah, apparently they found something that they felt it was compelling enough to go through with it.
Now, so because I don't think we saw the tape, right? I mean, the full tape hasn't made it out, has it? Or you're saying there are things that we haven't seen,
Yeah, there's a lot that wasn't shown. She was like following them for a while, and I can't say too much more, but. Yes, there was a lot more, and only a couple minutes got released to TMZ.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, listen, Alberto El Patron, that we feel for you, brother, and you're welcome to come on the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast, address your fans out there. We're pulling for you. This Saturday is NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Now, the Boston Bad Boy thinks he's too good to check out this stacked card.
I'm from Boston. I don't deal with Brooklyn.
Oh, give me a break. Raj Giri, can you set the Boston Bad Boy straight and let him know what do you think is going to be the match of the night? What's going to steal the show at NXT Brooklyn?
I don't know if it'll be match of the night, but I feel like Aleister Black versus Hideo Itami. I think that one will get. A lot of fan response. Just with the way they're pushing Aleister Black, he supposedly has a really cool entrance that they're going to be doing for him at the show. So I think that's one that people are going to remember. Bobby Roode and Drew McIntyre obviously should be great. These takeover shows never disappoint. Even the last one that they did back in May, I think a lot of people thought it was kind of a throwaway show, but it ended up being a lot of fun. So I think those will be big. Adam Cole is rumored to be showing up. So there's a lot to look out for.
Let him know.
It'll be a fun show.
Let him know. Is this the final moment where Asuka is going to lose the women's championship to Ember Moon? Let's give us the inside scoop here, Raj.
I don't know. She's not advertised for any main roster shows usually, but usually in NXT when someone loses the title, they'll do a rematch. And then after the rematch is when they go to the main roster. And then that's kind of been the formula that they've been doing for a while. And so, if, like, let's say Bobby Roode lost here, he probably would still be in NXT and, be facing Drew McIntyre at the next TakeOver in November. So, yeah, regardless if either Asuka or Bobby Roode loses, they're probably not going to the main roster anytime soon.
Wow, that's an interesting hot take.
You have this impression, Duke, that I care whether or not Asuka or Ember Moon. I just watch it with the sound up. I don't care. I'm in it for the visuals.
Disrespectful.
I'm just in it for the visuals. It doesn't matter to me who wins.
Don't be disrespectful.
Just letting you know.
Give me a break. The number one story in the world of professional wrestling right now is this Sunday, SummerSlam. It's happening live on the WWE Network. Raj Giri, you got to let us know, who is going to walk out of SummerSlam the Universal Heavyweight Champion?
I think it's going to be Brock Lesnar.
Uh-oh.
I think, yeah, it looks like they're building up to Lesnar and Strowman at the next No Mercy pay-per-view. Lesnar's booked for the next pay-per-view. So, yeah.
Wow. Now, what about the WWE Championship? Who's going to come out on top? Are we talking the Maharaja Jinder Mahal, or are we talking about the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura?
You know, I don't know, but I would guess that it's going to be Jinder. I just think it's a little too soon to put it on Nakamura, but and then they save the title change for the next pay-per-view. But I really could see that either way. But I just think with how hard they've been pushing Jinder, for him to lose it kind of this soon, you know. But then again, you don't want to beat Nakamura and have him go cold, you know, because they haven't been booking him like a huge superstar, and you know, until the last few weeks. So,
wow. Now educate the Boston bad boy, because you know he seems to roll his eyes when I talk about my two favorites here. We're talking about 5 Feet of Fury, the woman that I said would be the MVP of the WWE, Alexa Bliss, taking on the boss, Sasha Banks. Two of my favorites here. Educate this knucklehead on who's going to walk out with that championship.
You know, I think they're probably going to go with Alexa for now. Bayley's still out for a few months, but I think Alexa Bliss. That's my guess.
That's a hot take.
Well, and let me say, I've been kind of quiet here because I'm actually learning something. I'm taking some notes because finally I have someone smart to listen to, Duke.
Give me a break.
And I just want to thank you, Raj, for coming on the show. And before we let you go, give us a scoop. Give me some icing on the cake to this handling of Duke that you've given me. Give me something. Give me a scoop that you guys are working on that you can give us a Duke Loves Rasslin exclusive.
I just posted a couple. Jim Cornette is backstage at tonight's GFW Impact taping.
Whoa!
And Petey Williams, the former two-time X Division champion, he's going to be returning tonight as well.
So wait, Jim Cornette is at GFW. Now, as much as he's trashed that company, you mean to tell me he's backstage?
Yeah, well, a lot of people look at this different than TNA with Dixie Carter. So they look at it as two different entities. Because Bruce Pritchard, I mean, you've had a lot of people that have trashed a company in the past that are now back there. And, yeah, Jim Cornette, you know, he's rained on him pretty hard. But yeah, he's back there.
His name is Raj Giri. He runs the #1 wrestling website in the world. Raj, thanks so much for coming on today. How can everybody get in touch with you? How can listeners, if they want to send you some info, how can they get in touch?
Sure, you can always follow me on Twitter at RajGiri_303, or just hit us up at Wrestling Inc. And you know, you could send us a DM even if we don't follow you. Check out WrestlingInc.com. It's a really busy week. I think we've already had like 30 articles today. Tons of SummerSlam stuff. They're doing all sorts of media, so we're getting all this, you know, all these interviews and stuff. So check us out. It's a fun week.
See, Duke, take a lesson from a man who works hard for a living, all right? Get your house in order like Raj has it, and maybe you'll be something someday.
Listen, Raj Giri, like I said, you're the top dog. You got the #1 website, and that's great, but you didn't have to come on Duke Loves Rasslin and try to make a fool out of me. I don't understand.
He didn't have to try that hard, let me tell you.
All right, you know, I can't tell if he's laughing with me or if he's laughing
at you like I do, and most people do.
I don't know about this thing that you're doing here. I really don't.
Bringing in reputable people to set you straight?
Listen, I'm going to Raj Giri is the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's it.
Listen, if I'm going to get educated by anybody, it's certainly not going to be you.
Well,
if I have to sit through and endure quote-unquote education, I'm going to get it from people who know what they're talking about. That's the difference.
I was going to applaud you for getting a guest like Raj Giri on the show.
You should applaud me.
But
because I do it for our listeners, so that they don't have to endure your pontification endlessly.
Listen, tell your guys when they come on this show, be respectful to the Duke. That's it.
Listen,
don't try to one-up me.
It is what it is, and one-ing up you is easy because you're at like -3. So going one-up on you, there's not much to it.
Up next, we have him, the progressive liberal, Daniel Richards.
This is Simply Luscious, and you are listening to Duke Loves Rasslin. 'Cause
This is a progressive liberal Daniel Richards. I'm checking in once again a couple months later to make sure Duke and Austin Bad Boy are following the liberal agenda that I've been laying down, not only throughout the country, but throughout the world. And you will be liberated.
Wow.
Look at him. Look at him coming into my safe space.
Yep.
Okay,
See
and
that?
calling me the Austin Bad Boy. This is Boston, not Austin, Texas, brother.
You don't earn Boston because you're small time here. So look at that, huh? I appreciated you doing
What
that.
are those alternative
Progressive
facts?
liberal.
Progressive liberal. What is going on, brother?
Look who's back. Progressive liberal, listen, last time we spoke to you, you were just getting cooking there, and now you really have set the world on fire. What's this nonsense about you wiping your backside with the Confederate flag? What's that all about?
You don't believe it's nonsense. Why are you asking it like that?
Hey, listen, that was a very disrespectful thing you did there,
Oh, my
okay?
God.
So a lot of our fans down south, hold on a second, Boston Bad Boy. A lot of our fans down south were very, very upset about the fact that you were wiping your backside with that flag, and I hope your backside was clean when you did it.
You know, for all the people that got their feelings hurt by that, I would just have to ask them, who's the real snowflake?
Wow. And, I have to side with progressive liberal on this because
disrespect.
This whole thing is the most insane thing I've ever heard, and the fact that you're even bringing it up and trying to make a point out of it is so stupid.
There's
Duke.
some nice people who listen to this show. Okay, some nice.
There's
people.
nice people. Yeah, I'm sure there's some in there. There's some nice people. I'm not one of them.
Oh, okay.
I got to ask you a question, man. You've been working, you've been wrestling, and then one day the working man becomes a viral hit. What is that like to go from doing your thing, living your life both in character and out, and then suddenly you're everywhere over the internet? Tell me what that's like.
I'm the same guy. That term viral gets thrown around a lot, but I don't think people could understand unless it actually happened to them. I mean, the Deadspin and Sports Illustrated came, and then we had HBO, and then a few weeks later CBS, and then after that it was Tucker Carlson. And now I'm getting international coverage, so it's been spaced out real well. At our event tomorrow, I'm going to be wrestling for Nova Pro Wrestling, making my debut there in Annandale, Virginia, where for the first time, I believe, the overwhelming majority of the audience is actually going to be cheering for the
Whoa!
Oh, here comes the
New
turn.
territory.
Here comes the turn, brother. Looking back, though, I know it's been a quick shot to the top, and it's been, we talked to you a couple of months ago, right when this was starting to break. Is there anything you would have done differently? Like, if someone else was on the verge of this, is there any kind of advice you give them, like what to do, what not to do?
I would just tell them to enjoy every second of it. And,
absolutely.
And talk in sound bites. That a good sound bite can make or break an interview.
They can get you elected president of the United States, as it turns out.
Point.
I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm going to run for office now. That's got me thinking.
Well, Are you? Answer the question. This is exclusive on Duke Loves Rasslin.
I don't need to answer it today.
No.
I mean, it's something. I'm not trying to do the tune in till next time thing that our president does, like he's still on a reality show. But I've thought about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's speaking in the forums. I'm speaking in front of wrestling audiences, and I am actually doing I'm going to be at a liberal conference on Saturday, where I'll be speaking to my fellow liberals about maybe what we could be doing a little better. So that'll be different. I don't have to take any bumps, so that'll be
Well,
good.
you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
Good point. Yeah. That's right.
It could get rowdy. There's bad people on both sides, so you never know what you're going to encounter
That's
there.
right.
I want you to answer the question, though. Give us an answer. Are you running for office in the United States of America? It's somewhere, local level, state level. Are you running for president of the United States in 2020? Answer the question, my friend.
Let's go.
Well, I'll say yes to the latter because that will work well to sell my shirts. I've got the Daniel Richards 2020 shirt at whatamaneuver.net. The first question I'll say definitely not in 2017.
All right.
No.
Well,
We got an answer.
Look, a definitive answer from a
Exclusive.
liberal, something you can't get from the other side.
I know. Imagine. Look, that's the exclusives all over the place today. Listen, speaking of shirts, I see that you are hooked up with Al Snow's Collar and Elbow brand there. What's that all about?
Yeah, I believe I was one of the first people they contacted as far as the whole sponsorship thing. And if you want to get any of the collar and elbow products, which they're awesome shirts. They got a real cool PWI wrestling, like retro shirt. I really dig that one, but then just the collar and elbow shirt itself. You want to get 10% off and shoot a couple of ducats to your favorite liberal. Use keyword progress when you make the purchase, and you will get 10% off.
I have a question I've been wondering about since I've been watching you blow up on the scene. You're wrestling in an area that is historically not progressively liberal, and we understand what we're doing here. A lot of people have been saying cheap heat. A lot of people have been saying, I love it. I want you to keep going. But my question to you is, are you finding guys who are your opponents, who are people who live in the area, working a little stiffer in the ring? Are you getting some real life vibe here? Is there like a blurring of the lines between the show and real life?
The first match with Kyle Fox News Maggot, I encountered the stiffest lockup in the history of wrestling.
Wow, I knew it.
Well, he somehow managed to punch me in the face in the lockup, so I had a bloody nose and loose cartilage in my nose for about 2 months.
That was for Trump. That was for Trump.
I'm sure it was.
You've just gotten his safe space, apparently.
Ain't got mine. Sure.
So, Progressive Liberal, tell us the truth here, because you had recently one of the biggest matches of your career where you took on former WWE star Hurricane Shane Helms. Did you learn anything during that matchup, especially dealing with a veteran like Shane Helms?
Oh, yeah. It was an awesome experience. And in front of a really hot crowd. I had more heat there than I probably had anywhere else.
Well, we had Big Vito Lagrasso, shout out to Big Vito, on last week, and he was talking about the fact of if you're just wrestling people who are on your level, you're not really improving as much as you can. So once again, wrestling somebody like a veteran and a well-known star like Hurricane Shane Helms, did you notice a difference wrestling him versus wrestling some other folks?
One key difference with guys on his level, devil's in the details. I might think of something, and then he's like, well, I think we can do this to make it bigger. The level of psychology that guys that have been to that level think of because of the guys he's worked with.
Oh, yeah.
You work with guys at that level and those spots can't help but rub off on you.
We got to ask you because I know that the fans have been asking this question, especially when we announced that you were going to be coming back, the progressive liberal Daniel Richards. Who would be your ultimate opponent that you would want to stand toe-to-toe with? Who would it be?
Best opponent for me right now, given the political environment, the climate out there, would be Vince McMahon. I think there's kind of like a built-in. Of course, I want to align myself with him, but it's a. There's definitely be a built-in angle, given he's had a few photo ops with Trump, his connection to the administration, the progressive liberal. I mean, the story is pretty much there.
You know what? You know who I have to blame for Trump? And I put a lot of blame on this guy because one day we're going to be sitting here watching TV and you're going to hear this.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
We're going to find that as a country, he did that to us.
Give me a break.
That would be quite a swerve.
I mean, I think you should take this guy and give him the pile driver. I'm behind. I'm going to donate to the campaign of the progressive liberal taking out Vince McMahon.
Don't be disrespectful.
Well, I mean, I'd probably just hit him with a liberal agenda if I was going to hit him.
Whoa. You hear that, Vince McMahon? The progressive liberal is going to hit you with his finishing maneuver, the liberal agenda. All right? You can, listen, book it. Book it, Dano. If folks want to get in touch with you, progressive liberal, especially if anyone wants to have you wrestle on their cards or do autograph signings, or even if now you're doing these left-wing conferences and
maybe they want you to do some Democratic fundraisers or something. How do they get in touch?
If someone's not familiar with the publicity I've gotten, just Google progressive liberal wrestler. I would say that if you're not familiar, but if you are familiar, know who I am, want to bring me on for your speaking engagements and especially to wrestle, because that's what I love to do, and that's what brought me to the dance. You go to my Facebook page, /PL Daniel Richards, or go to my Twitter at ProgressLib804. I'm a little more partial to Facebook, but hey, Twitter's getting a decent amount of love right now. So,
did you just give us the "Have your people call my people"? I think it's essentially what you just did.
He said, "Google me." Jeez,
that's how I know you're a star, my friend.
Yes.
Ooh. Also, another way to get a hold of me is through my booking agent, Steve Stasiak, with BookProWrestlers.com.
Oh wow, you're with Book Pro Wrestlers? Hey, look at this guy. Look at this.
He's
guy.
all grown up. He's grown up and he's grown up.
Listen, progressive liberal Daniel Richards, you kind of step outside of yourself at times. I mean, especially with the whole wiping the Confederate flag with your hind parts.
Absolutely,
I don't know about
he
that.
was absolutely 100% right.
Give me a break. But I'll say this much, sir: we are very proud of you. Okay, so keep up the great work. You know, you always have an open door here at the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast. Hey, I reached out to you before you hit big, brother.
And he'll never let you forget it.
That's right.
You're the first. Hey, you're the first. I didn't even know about my own Deadspin story until you messaged me. I was like, oh, well, sure, I'll do your podcast, but what is this Deadspin story you speak of? I love telling that story.
You see that Boston bad boy? You can have your fancy website guys and all that, like Raj Giri, #1 pro wrestling news site. But the Duke broke the scoop.
And he likes telling that story.
On Progressive Liberal. That's right. Well, why
one
wouldn't
day
you?
You'll tell your grandkids that.
Yes, I'll say, look.
That and $1.25 will get you a cup of coffee. Let's move on from your gloating.
All right, give me a break. Up next, we have Ask Duke, which we have a very special voicemail. It didn't make it last week, but we're going to play it this week. And listen, hold on to your seats. This is something else, folks. It is so much something else that we're dedicating that segment to this one thing here because it's crazy. But before we get to any of that, listen, the Progressive Liberal brought up something that is very interesting.
Yep.
BookProWrestlers.com.
Yeah.
Remember BookProWrestlers.com?
Absolutely. BookProWrestlers.com. I remember we used to talk about BookProWrestlers.com all the time.
So we're talking about Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer Leilani Kai and Steve Stasiak.
That's right.
I mean, they literally have the who's who in the wrestling business as far as they take care of all their booking needs, birthday parties, autograph signings, and even wrestling events.
And they're good people. From the beginning of this show, they've hooked us up with info and people and contacts.
Just
they're
great
the best.
folks. So I'm glad to hear that the Progressive Liberal is doing some business with them. And
what's that website again?
BookProWrestlers.com.
BookProWrestlers.com, you say?
See you at the matches.
Hi, this is James Beard. I'm the Director of Operations for the National Wrestling Alliance, and you're listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
So, Boston Bad Boy, last week we were playing the listener-submitted voicemails. And folks, you can head over to DukeLovesRasslin@gmail.com. That's DukeLovesRasslin@gmail.com.
And because you had some computer, I don't know what your computer problem was. I don't know, what are you using, DOS over there? You sent me something and it was corrupted.
I like DOS.
So now you brought, so we're supposed to have an extra question last week.
Sure.
And now you've brought this question with you. You figured out how to, what is that, on a cassette? I don't know what you're doing.
Well, listen, but what's awesome about it is that it deserves its own segment, okay? Because it's just...
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
Hold on to your seats because this is something else here. So without further ado, here is one of our great fans.
Let me get this on the reel-to-reel because you can't figure out how to send it via email.
Give me a break.
Like a normal human being.
So this is one of our great fans providing a question, and just listen to this.
Hey, Duke, it's Annabelle from San Antonio. I have a question.
Hold on. So, first of all.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? I mean, Annabelle.
It's horrifying.
Well, hey, be nice here. So this just goes to show the type of wonderful listeners that we have. We have a very strong female listenership. Annabelle.
Is this for real?
This is for real. This is real deal.
What is that voice?
That's her voice. Annabelle.
That's like the voice of Mickey Mouse. You
No,
remember those from the old original talkie?
Stop that. That's a grown woman there. Stop that. So Annabelle is very nice, and she has a question.
Can we get to it? Because I'm horrified already.
Go ahead, play that.
Hey, Duke, it's Annabelle from San Antonio. I have a question. Who do you think is benefiting the most from the Mae Young Classic deal? Do you think it's the undercard people that are in the tag teams and whatnot, or those that are actually in the tournament? And why? Thanks.
What is going on?
I don't even know what she's asking. I'm listening to the voice.
I can't get past the voice.
The voice.
What is going on there?
How awesome is that?
It's like some sort of creepy phone sex operation going on there.
What do you know about that stuff?
From what I've heard.
Well, yeah.
What is with that? You know, there was this weird thing where there are people, there are men, probably women too, who are into this little girl voice thing, and it's disgusting. It's bizarre.
Stop it right now.
It's bizarre.
You're not going to disrespect our listeners.
I want to ask you something. What is it not so crazy, this voice, that you have no idea what she just asked you?
Well, I really don't.
You have no idea, so you have no valid way of answering.
I'm just on the voice. It's
like a ventriloquist voice. It's like someone's throwing their voice. What the hell is that?
That's the most awesome voice ever. You kidding me?
I couldn't. You couldn't pay me to listen to that voice.
You know what? We've been getting...
And I wouldn't pay to listen to that voice.
Stop it right now. We've been getting top coverage, okay? We're talking about...
Isn't that the creepy haunted doll from that movie, Annabelle? Isn't that... The creepy Victorian doll with the eyes closed?
She didn't name herself. Her mother named her. So
really?
Be respectful.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm sure that's her real name.
That's the kind of deal...
Sounds like a pseudonym to me.
That's the kind of deal Duke Loves Rasslin have. I mean, we have fans from all over the world.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's Dingo. Dingo's all like Norman Bates. Like Norman Bates coming in here trying to talk like Mother. That's what it sounds like.
Stop it right now.
I bet it is.
You stop it right now.
I'm going to do some research into that.
You're disrespectful. You know, listen, Annabelle... Shout out to Annabelle.
Shout out.
Thank
Get the hell out of here.
For blessing our inbox with your fantastic question, whatever it was.
I want to know what you're doing, scouring 900 numbers to get questions for this show. I mean, how much did you pay? $4.99 a minute to get her to do that?
Unbelievable.
Is this why the question was missing last week? Because you had to pay your bill before she would send you the audio?
Actually, now that you say all that, I remember the question. She's asking about the Mae Young Classic.
It doesn't matter.
It's an important question.
No, we're not even. No, we're not. We're moving on. We're moving on to a very important question, which is mine. Always the most important question.
Here we go.
I was bored. And, you know, when I'm bored, I see what you're doing because it's never that interesting. But it's better than staring at paint dry, you know?
Thanks.
And I was on the Duke Loves Rasslin page on Facebook, and I noticed an article you posted. And usually I don't care about what you post when it involves wrestling because it's just inane 9 times out of 10.
Don't be disrespectful.
Brie Bella is in the middle of filming Total Bellas and Total Divas, right?
Yeah.
So you posted an article that she was on From the Top Rope.
Yep, good show.
Which is some kind of a show. I don't know. It's a show that wrestling nerds watch, I guess. But I was reading the transcript because I didn't get time for that. And she said she knows for a fact that Daniel Bryan will wrestle again. So she could be talking out of her ass. I don't know. She may be. Talking through her hat, as my grandpappy would say. What do you think? Because I know you're going to have some idiotic response to this because when it comes to Daniel Bryan, you can't see the reality of it.
Listen. Everybody knows. I mean, I was there at the first Ring of Honor show in Philly when that was Daniel Bryan's first big match.
Back in my day.
Well, I'm a big fan of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, well,
we all know
if you were
that,
a fan and you really cared about the guy, then you would.
Well, look,
come on,
listen.
You'll say the right thing right now, which is he should be wrestling.
I would not like to see Daniel Bryan wrestle again. For his safety. Seriously, I don't want to see it.
It's funny you should say that because your Lord and Savior, Vincent Q. McMahon, seems to be up to some other shenanigans as he usually is. Because, as I said, Brie Bella is in the middle of filming Total Bellas and Total whatever the hell it is. Some crap on the E Network.
Stop it.
That people
top-rated shows.
Yeah, top-rated money grabs.
Stop.
Filling time on the fucking E Network.
Stop it.
Who's watching the E Network?
Now. Everybody's watching the E
Network.
No
one's watched the E.
They're beating the Kardashians, so be respectful.
Oh, wow.
About it.
Beating the Kardashians.
Be respectful.
What a great metric we have in this country.
Goodness.
Beating the Kardashians. She should be the president of the United States. Get the hell out of here.
Take it easy over there, all right? Take it easy.
So in this money grab that they're coming back with new seasons, obviously, very soon, if they're filming.
I don't know what
one would assume.
I don't know what you're trying to go, where you're going with this here.
Obviously, they're using this poor guy's fragile health state to up ratings. Stay tuned, because Daniel Bryan might turn into a vegetable this season.
No. Come on.
Tell me what's going on with
First of all, I know you're not accusing his wife of trying to use his health for some kind of financial gain. Because that's sick.
It wouldn't be the first time Vince McMahon plotted people in relationships against each other. Right. Okay? It wouldn't be the first time
now you're being even
he's
worse.
Putting words in her mouth and holding something over her head, leveraging her
that's a little worse.
To speak out against her.
This has nothing to do with Vince.
Impotence? Do you want to talk about John Cena's
impotence?
impotence?
This has nothing to do with Vince.
You want to talk about John Cena's impotence?
Stop it.
I'm going to keep saying impotence until you figure out that Vince McMahon is an impotent leader because he's doing these incredibly these stupid things, forcing people who are married to go against each other.
No, that's not what's happening right now. And look, Vince McMahon has made it clear. Okay, the WWE has made it clear that Daniel Bryan is not going to wrestle in their rings ever again.
And they've also made it clear they're going to exploit the poor guy for every nickel they can get out of him before he actually turns to dust in front of our eyes.
That's not going to happen because they're going to protect him. Because Vince McMahon,
they didn't do it before. Why are they going to protect him now?
He cares about the talent. Okay?
Yeah, no, he cares that if the talent was George Washington on the $1 bill, that's who he cared about.
This is what I don't understand about you. I understand that at times you want to be tongue-in-cheek, the whole Boston bad boy, the gimmick and all that crap. That's great. But look, you're talking about real people.
Do not call me a gimmick. What is wrong with you? Because the fact remains that Daniel Bryan, Bryan is going through hyperbaric oxygen therapy in a hyperbaric decompression chamber because he's trying to fool the test so that he can get back to wrestling again.
Who's
putting those ideas in his head?
That's his business.
Who's putting so Vince is once again playing both sides.
No,
he's got the wife out there talking crap.
No, I won't.
And then he's got him actually in a chamber.
That's not true.
Risking his livelihood and his life to figure out whether he can get back in the ring or not. It's unbelievable. It's sick. And the fact that Vince is doing this is just par for the course. Another notch in Vince's sociopathic mind to make money. It doesn't matter.
I'm not going to listen to this anymore. Thank you to the progressive liberal Daniel Richards for joining us.
Yeah, and I can't wait till progressive liberal hits Vince McMahon with the liberal agenda.
Give me a break.
Raj Giri, I'm going to hit you with the liberal agenda.
All right. Join us next week when hopefully the Boston bad boy gets a clue. Because he's clearly lost himself
you know what? I'll get a clue. I'm going to invite another high-profile journalist to come on here and straighten you like I did this week. And it's going to continue to happen.
You're out of your mind. I'm sick of you.